This is a quick video on how to metadata a shader in the new Validator metadata. If you're unsure how to access the Validator metadata, then please see the introduction to Validator metadata video. I will explain how to access the Validator now and explains the different aspects of the metadata interface. Because the first thing we're going to do is we've mapped in the folder that we're going to be working on. It's this classic blue floral fabric shader. It's a merchant resource. It's a Daz original that we already have in the store. All right. So now we'll go down to Validator. I'm going to select the folder, and I'm going to scan. If there was any issues, they show there. There's not. So first thing we can do is I'm going to detach it. It makes it easier to work with. Then I'm going to create the product, copy the name from the pass page, or you're going to need to put the name that you're going to put in pass. It needs to be the exact product name. And then you'll put your authorship information. Leave this on local user because you'd have to have this SKU to select Daz 3D here. Hit accept, and you'll see the product name is now, and it's now these black fields are now red. You can hit suggest, but 9 times out of 10 you're going to have to do some corrections. So you'll hit suggest. So it did a good job this time. So it found that most of these are preset shader MDL, right? So MDL is for iRay. RSO is for 3D Light, and then Fila will be for the Fila tune. Okay. Now the categories are going to need to be all corrected. This preset render setting, we need to set the content type for that. So you're going to right-click content type, and we're going to find render setting. Preset render settings right there. Okay, and now while we're here, we might as well set the category. So we're going to right click on that and edit category with that one selected. I'm going to go scroll down here, render settings, iRay, hit accept. This will not get a compatibility because it's a render setting and it can apply in Studio without anything. Okay, so now then, what we can do is we're going to set these, we can set the categories. So you'll see some that are, you'll see tile, and you'll see these are actual color shaders. Okay, so based on what the shader actually does is where it goes. So these are all tile shaders. So what we can do is we can select them all, just like anything else in Windows. You can, shift click, shift first one, and holding shift down, select last one. It'll select all of them. And then with that, you can go over here into edit categories. And then we're going to see what it says shaders iRay. We need to be specific. These are fabric shaders, so they need these are fabric shaders, but they're tile. They only change the tiling, so those will go under utilities, right? Not the actual fabric. That'll be for the color ones later on. These do one specific thing: change the bump, color, diffuse displacement, whatever. And in here is one of them is tiling. So we're going to select tiling. And over here, you'll see what's changing. It's being removed from this category and added this category. And then you hit accept. Do not add custom categories. Daz Studio ships with the authorized categories for metadata. Okay, so that's good. Since we're kind of split these up, we can set the compatibilities. Shaders get applied to any surface. I don't need to edit categories again. I need to add compatibilities. All right, so we're going to select any surface. They do not get a compatibility base. Compatibility base that says I am this, and it's only for things that actually load the geometry in the scene. Since these are just shaders, they apply to something, which is what compatibilities is. Compatibilities are saying I belong to this or I work with this. Don't worry about the scene ID. If you had something that had a compatibility base, when you committed the metadata, it would put in the appropriate information. Okay, and now these are all the actual color shaders. So we're going to edit categories. And these will be under fabric because these are applying the pattern or image or whatever, and the other settings. And then these will also get set, the compatibility is set to any surface. And that is it. It's very easy to do metadata for material expansions or shaders. But this is how you would do a shader. So now at this point we will commit. All right, and we can actually close this because what it's done when we committed it, it's basically populated the local database. So now we'll come down here to products. And we don't see it in here, so what we'll have to do is just close Studio. And then we just reopen it. And when we come into products, you'll see it right there. Okay, so then what you do is you're going to come up to the content library, right click, Content DB Editor, select Daz 3D there, populate it with your name or author name. And then here you're going to, in this section, you're going to select Add from Directory Recursive, and you're going to navigate to that folder. And Classic Blue. And that'll populate all the files. You don't have a SKU yet, so you can ignore it. And then at this point, you can just hit accept. And it's telling you where it's going to export the metadata. You can browse to file location. And what it'll do is you'll see in the runtime folder, it created a new folder called support, and it's got the files for your metadata. You can, at this point, you can, if you already have your main promo image, you can drag it into here, right? And then you're going to copy the name. It needs to be match the other two files, just like the DUF and the PNGs. And then you're going to resize this. It needs to be 114 by 148. And then that's it. Your metadata is ready to be zipped up when you upload to PASS. Have a great day.